Sister Wives Garrison Brown saw a sad future before it happened. In March 2024, Sister Wives fans all over the world felt shocked and deeply saddened by Garrison Brown's death. TLC took care to edit him out of the bulk of season 19, but eagle-eyed fans can still spot him here and there. Today, this day, viewers speak fondly of Garrison and sorely miss him on the show. In recent seasons, Gabe and Garrison Brown discussed the growing rift with their father, Cody. The situation certainly escalated after the pandemic started, but Garrison seemed to know it would only get worse. Read on to see the jaw-dropping moment one Sister Wives viewer shared online. Garrison Brown knew the family would split apart. As the Brown family children grow older, they appear on Sister Wives less frequently. However, Garrison and Gabriel Brown played pivotal roles in recent seasons. The brothers desperately wanted to bridge the gaps the pandemic created. Sadly, Cody and Robin's side of the family seemed to pull away. Viewers wanted justice for the young men. As one viewer pointed out, Garrison Brown seemed to know their family was on the verge of crumbling for good. Eerily accurate analysis from Garrison, COVID rules, one Sister Wives viewer posted on Reddit. They attach a haunting screenshot from a few seasons ago. Garrison and Gabriel are having a conversation about the family's future amid the pandemic and social distancing rules. I'm hopeful. Gabe stars before his brother cuts him off. The whole family is gonna fall apart. Garrison interjects. We're done. Reddit users react to the ominous scene. Many Redditors came across the haunting scene in their own rewatches. In turn, they felt saddened knowing the horrifying fate that awaited Garrison. Others expressed anger over how clearly the boys were hurting and how little support they received from their father. Reddit users wrote, Cody was so cruel. Cody was letting the wives know, if you don't listen to me, I'm not coming around. It's your behavior that is keeping me from my kids. That is how Cody thinks. I will hurt your children if you don't listen to me. It's cruel. This breaks my heart. I rewatched some of the earlier episodes not too long ago and caught this comment and thought, wow, did that kid see what was coming? The Garrison topic hurts me so much. Wish somehow he could have been stopped or saved from feeling like that was his only way out. Garrison Brown sat on the worn leather couch of his Flagstaff home, staring out the window as the Arizona sun painted the sky in brilliant shades of gold and crimson. He had always found sunsets to be a peaceful time, a moment to breathe and reflect, but lately they only reminded him of the inevitable darkness that followed. He had seen it coming, the unraveling of the family, the cracks that had turned into canyons, the silence that had replaced laughter. He had tried to ignore it for as long as possible, telling himself that families went through ups and downs, that maybe things would get better. But deep down, he had known the truth long before it had fully unfolded. His family was falling apart, and there was nothing he could do to stop it. The shift had begun years ago, long before his mother, Janelle, had finally decided to leave Cody for good. It was subtle at first, missed phone calls, strained conversations, a growing resentment that no one dared to name. But Garrison had always been perceptive, more than his father gave him credit for. He had noticed the way Cody's presence in his mother's life had dwindled, how the love that had once been strong and unwavering had eroded into something unrecognizable. And he had noticed, too, how much more effort Cody had put into maintaining his relationship with Robin and her children, while he and his brothers and sisters were left on the fringes, waiting for a father who never came. That was when the bitterness had begun to grow. At first, it was just an ember, a small flicker of frustration whenever Cody canceled plans or made excuses for his absence. But as time went on, that ember turned into a flame and then into a wildfire that threatened to consume everything in its path. Garrison had spent years holding it in, trying to be the dutiful son, the peacemaker, the one who didn't make waves. But he had reached his breaking point when the pandemic came and Cody's favoritism became impossible to ignore. He remembered the arguments, the tense phone calls, the way Cody had accused him of being disloyal simply because he had chosen to live his life differently. He had tried to reason with his father, to explain that love and loyalty were not things that could be dictated or controlled. But Cody had refused to listen. And so, Garrison had done what he had always known, deep down, he would have to do. He had started to pull away. And yet, even as he had distanced himself, even as he had created a life outside of the tangled web of his family's dysfunction, he had still held onto the hope that things could be repaired. That one day his father would wake up and realize what he had lost. That he would come back not with empty words or rehearsed apologies, but with real change, real love. But that day never came. The last time he had spoken to Cody, it had been the same as always: deflection, blame, a refusal to take accountability. Garrison had tried, once again, to make his father see the pain he had caused, to make him understand that he had broken something that might never be repaired. But Cody had simply sighed, acting as if he were the victim, as if it was Garrison's fault for expecting too much. And so, Garrison had stopped trying. It wasn't easy, letting go of the dream of the father he had wanted but never truly had. But he had learned that sometimes the only way to protect yourself from being hurt was to stop hoping for things that would never be. He had his mother, his siblings, his friends, people who truly loved him, who showed up for him, who didn't make love conditional. That was enough. It had to be. Still, as he sat there, watching the sun slip beneath the horizon, he couldn't shake the feeling that he had seen all of this coming long before it had ever happened. He had seen the distance growing, the love fading, the fractures turning into breaks that could never be mended. He had known, even when no one else wanted to admit it, that this was how it would end. And yet, knowing hadn't made it any easier.